But for me, I'm just going to go back to Wilson. Andy absolutely bang on, and Boki, respectfully. Where would Newcastle be without Callum Wilson's goals when we were in a relegation battle? It may have been a totally different club. And would we have got the interest from PIF if we had, unfortunately, been down into the mire in the Championship? So a lot of respect has to go to Callum Wilson because, like I say, when he came to us, we certainly weren't looking like the team that we do today. And rightfully as well, you've got to think it's a pay per play contract. You're fighting against Isak, potentially the world's best striker. So how many games really are you going to play? Yes, we've got loads of games to get through, but if he's only going to get paid, I mean, and he's already said, financially he's stable, he's comfortable, but with his requirement as a player, as you get older, unfortunately, you do start to seize up. Your knees start to play up even more, your joints, because you've been a professional footballer all your life. These things catch up with you. So he needs games, he needs time. And I'm sure wherever he goes to, whether it's a lower end of the Premier League or whether it's the Championship, he'll do whoever a service, who, as long as he keeps himself fit. And I think that's the thing. Moving on to DCL, I mean, the one thing you can look at, I suppose, he's been fit over the last 2 seasons. I think he's played 28 games and 32 games. The biggest problem you find is, as Boki's just said, he's not hit the net. I'm going to ask you a question now. He's been in and Shelley, bless her, she'll probably give me a lot more of an answer than I can give you. But if you look at the struggles that Everton have been through over the last 2 or 3 seasons, financially behind the scenes, changing managers, not really having a formidable team that you can get that support and flow. And we've seen that with our lads when we were struggling. You can put whoever you like up top. If you're not getting the service, you can't get the goals. Now, just quickly on Dominic Calvert-Lewin, over his tenure in the Premier League, 239 games, 57 goals, 18 assists. It's not brilliant. And again, it depends on which side of the time you want to sit on, because the rumours are that we've said no thank you on your agent's requirements and them coming forward. And yet on other channels, they're saying that he's in the background and Eddie's really interested. So again, it wouldn't surprise me because he's free. And because, like I say, whoever comes in has got to sit on the bench. The one thing Dominic Calvert-Lewin gives you, and again, this is an Eddie player, because he can play left wing, he can play right wing, he can play support striker, he can play striker. He'll be good in the air, which is, in a way, is an area that we've found ourselves quite weak in the past. So he does give you a little bit of variety in the positions that he can play if you want to change the game up. And I think, like I say, again, forget the negatives, because the lad's been fit for 2 seasons, so you can't say he's injury prone at the minute.
Yeah, true. No, I think he might be. I mean, I think, but again, actually, I read that he was offered to Newcastle. Newcastle said no, thank you. So that's done and dusted there. To be fair,
you could argue when he had Rodriguez there assisting him, he was getting goals. So when he had some quality behind,
but was he 16 goals he scored, didn't he, in the one season?
Yeah,
14 or 16. Yeah. The one thing I would say with him is that with Isak, if he is going to be a substitute for Isak, he is good at holding the ball up. Is the one big thing. So if you're winning a game or you're needing somebody up front just to hold the ball up or flick balls on, he is quite good at that side of the game. So that's something that we'll probably struggle with for the last few seasons in regards to when we brought a sub on strike for the striker. They haven't been able to keep the ball up front. That's maybe something he could bring to the pot.
Yeah. It's just so unfulfilling, though, isn't saying it's not the signing that's going to give you the fizz, is it? Let's be honest.
No.
Yeah, I mean, we all know Elanga can play up there. He played for Sweden when Isak wasn't available. But it very much reminds me of when we play Gordon up top. These are 2 players that can do it, but don't look competent in front of goal for me. And I think, like I say, you do need a natural eye for goal. Not saying DCL is going to give us the natural eye for goal. But does he offer you more than Callum Wilson did? And I honestly have to say, yes, he does. because of his variation when he can play, his aerial ability.
Well,
we know
yeah,
Callum can jump,
that-
but DCL's 28. He's really coming. I mean, he's not at the beginning of his prime, but if he can keep himself fit and, like I say, get the supply, you will get goals out of him. He's just not the name that everybody wants.
So that's somebody that we need to look for. Scalvini is another one that we've been linked last week. You guys talked about it, and then now there is an ITK. I don't know. There's an ITK on X that has said that we made a bid for him for £30 million. So take that with a grain of salt. I don't know if it's true, if it isn't, but I know that we rumored that we've been rumored with him. So I don't know. Is he? I mean, he's a good signing. He's a young guy as well. I think. How old is he? 21 years of age. Defender. Now, is he a center back?
Yeah,
He's
right centre back.
Right centre back.
He's 21 years of age. He's playing for Atalanta. I'm not quite sure that's going to be a player that gets people excited, to be honest. I mean,
He gets me excited.
Okay,
Well,
well,
excited as well. I've watched a bit of him on YouTube. He's immense as a defender.
Yeah.
At 21 years of age, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean the only concern is obviously the
CL.
The one thing it's his injuries.
Yeah.
You've got an ACL that kept him out over 100 days. He's had a shoulder injury that's kept him out over 100 days. So, as a 21-year-old, and again, I think you've got to look at the two sides of the coin here. Players only ever get injured if they get stuck in. They don't get injured if they stay off on the feet.
Well,
like Lloyd Kelly, you know what I mean? You'll never see Lloyd Kelly get an injury because he doesn't get involved in a tackle. So as much as it pains me to say that it's a gamble on Scalvini, what you're going to get is a solid guy who's going to get through the tackle. And I mean, some of the tackles on some really high-performing centre forwards you've seen from this lad. But then you go to that next level. You not only will get the ball back for you, but he's a typical Italian player. Doesn't panic on the ball. Doesn't just hoof it. He'll try and still play the pass forward into feet. And I think for me, it's just that little bit of quality that I want to start seeing, rather than just the old-fashioned centre backs. The Dan Burns of the world, where yes, they'll win you the ball back, but they'll always look for that simple pass out to somebody else who can deliver the ball. I want to start seeing some of our players at the back to start delivering the ball from the back of quality.
He's been compared to Alessandro Bastoni. He is an Inter player, I think, as well. So, look, I mean, we got to get him in, though. As long as we get him in, and then we'll see. We'll figure it out. But, I mean,
it's not shy getting forward either. It's not shy getting forward at all.
I think he's a natural sort of replacement for Shaw, from what I've seen in that.
Yeah,
he is that type of bring the ball out from the back sort of defender. Rather than
if you think about it though, from Margate to Scalvini, I think is a difference in present talent. I think Margate is a player that's ahead of him. And so if you go from him to Scalvini, I'm not too sure. I'm not sold on it yet. I'm not sold on it. And look, it can have a great future. So I'm not disputing that. And I like Italian players and defenders because they make defenders, man. So that's what they do. But so it could happen. It could happen. But somebody said that we put in a bid for him for $30 million. I'm not sure.
Just on Gahey there, Christian. I mean, I remember obviously everyone's talking about Scalvini's injury record, and rightly so. Had he not been injured, the argument would be, I think Scalvini would probably be on par with Gahey in sense of exposure, reputation.
Yes.
We've also got to remember, the good thing that we've got with Scalvini is if we use Gahey as a representative point, he had a season with Crystal Palace just over a year and a half ago where he missed the majority of the season, and he came into the team at the end of the season. So it shows you that just because you have had an iffy injury record in the past, at that age, that you can come in and hit the ground running and not be out all the time, because Gahey's really been an ever-present for Palace since.
Yeah, true. And I don't know what's going to happen with Gahey. Is he actually going to Liverpool? Is he what's going on there? I have not heard anything.
No, I think that they're still trying to. I mean, 35 million. If Liverpool do land him, I think at the minute 35 million. Yeah, I think
we're talking about Mark Gay.
Yeah.
35 million. Don't forget to smash the like button. It helps us a lot to keep growing. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, activate all notifications, that way you get notified every time we go live. And don't forget, you can become a member, get exclusive content, access to all of our live shows on demand at the time that you want. Also, of course, giveaways every month, sometimes multiple giveaways a month. So stay tuned for that. Check it out. Help support the channel. It's a small fee. And of course, you help us and grow. If you hate the Mackhams, smash that like button.
To say that when we got the wheel put on, away we went again. But them that had their noses broke, they came back our him. Some went to the dispensary, and some to Dr. Gibbs's, and some to the informer.